2/2 and 2/3. I am your teacher and my name is T.lad. So this online course will run for 6 weeks. And this subject is every Tuesday and Thursday, the first period from 8:30 to 10 o'clock in the morning. So for the schedule for week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6, just take a look at your screen. And I hope there will be no week 7 for this online course. And I hope everything will be back to normal so that we can see each other in the classroom. And for the grading system, your attendance is 5 marks. It means that you have to go online every Tuesday and Thursday from 8:30 to 10 o'clock in the morning. And there will be seat work and quizzes during the online class, which will be 10 marks for a total of 15 marks. So these are the lessons that we are going to learn in this subject for this online course. So week 1, so the introduction of the subject, that is what we are doing right now. And then after that, we are going to review the last topic that we learned when you were in M1. And that was from cells to organ system. Basically because your online class will be about the organ systems, okay, the human systems and some systems of animals and some insects. So we need to review this so that you will recall the important things that we have learned from this topic. And then next, we will learn about the functions and examples of organs related to these two systems, digestive system and respiratory system. So these are the things that we are going to discuss this week 1 of the online course. And then for week 2, we will continue with the functions and examples of organs related to these 5 systems of humans. So excretory system, and then male reproductive system, female reproductive system, nervous system, and circulatory system. And then for week 3, still the same, functions and organs related to different systems such as the skeletal system, muscular system, endocrine system, integumentary system, and immune system. And for week 4, we will discuss everything about the digestive system in humans. So meaning we will discuss every detail of the human digestive system. So here we will discuss the types of digestion, the digestive enzymes, the end products of digestion, absorption and of digested food, reabsorption, and defecation. And then we will compare the digestive system of different vertebrates, such as mammals. So for mammals, we will discuss the digestive system of cows, okay? And then fish, and then amphibians. So for amphibians, we will use frogs. Then reptiles, and for reptiles, we will use crocodiles, digestive system. And for birds, we will use that of the chicken's digestive system. And then for week 5, we will discuss the respiratory system. So here we will discuss the breathing processes, gas exchange between the lungs and the blood, and then gas exchange in some animals such as aquatic animals, insects, spiders, and hydras. And also The last topic for this one is about air pollution, your PM 2.5, and its effects in the respiratory system. And the last topic, which will be on week 6, and if we cannot finish this one, we will continue in the classroom. So it's all about the circulatory system in humans. Here we will discuss the components of blood, the structure of the human heart, blood circulation through the heart, blood pressure and pulses, and then the circulatory system in vertebrates, insects, and shrimps. This topic is just a review of what you learned in M1. We learned that a matter is made up of atoms. And here, atoms chemically combine to form molecules. Different molecules form a cell. So meaning a cell is made up of different molecules. And different molecules are made up of different atoms. A cell is the basic unit of life, or the basic unit of all living things. It means that all living things or organisms are made up of a cell or cells. So that is why there are unicellular organisms and multicellular organisms. A unicellular organism is an organism that consists of only one cell, while multicellular organisms are organisms that are made up of many different kinds of cells. A cell is the smallest part of a living thing that is alive, and it was the scientist Robert Hooke who coined the term cells. He looked down his microscope at a thin layer of cork. So a cork is used to cover a wine bottle. Then Robert Hooke saw structures that looked like small rooms. He called them cells. Life in multicellular organisms is organized into 5 levels, from cells to tissues to organs to organ systems and organisms. So these topics are mainly about the 5 levels of organization in multicellular organisms. A typical cell or ordinary cell has 2 basic structures. So first, the cell membrane. And inside the cell membrane is a protoplasm. And the protoplasm consists of a nucleus and cytoplasm. So other organelles, such as ribosomes, lysosomes, mitochondria, and others, are found in cytoplasm. So the basic structure of an animal cell. So the basic structure of an animal cell has the cell membrane, the cytoplasm, vacuoles, which are many but small, and a nucleus. So a nucleus contains chromosomes. But the red blood cells are the only cells in our body that do not contain a nucleus. While a plant cell has a cell wall, which an animal cell doesn't have. Green plants have chloroplasts, which are not found also in animal cells. So chloroplasts are only found in green plants. So chloroplast contains green pigment called chlorophyll. So a plant cell also has a cell membrane, one big vacuole, a nucleus which contains chromosomes, and a cytoplasm, which contains different organelles. So the nucleus in a cell contains chromosomes, and chromosomes control how the cell works and determine what the organism will look like. So a human cell has 46 chromosomes arranged in 23 pairs. So meaning all cells in the human body carry 46 chromosomes or 23 pairs, except for two cells. And these are the sperm cells and the egg cells. So sperm cells carry only half of 46. So it means that a sperm cell only carries 23 chromosomes and not pair. The same with an ovum or an egg cell, which only carries half of 46, which is 23. Each chromosome is made up of a DNA molecule. So what does DNA stand for? DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. Different organisms have different numbers of chromosomes. Just like, for example, dogs. Dogs have 38 pairs of chromosomes in their nucleus. So meaning there are 76 chromosomes in the nucleus of the dog. While the sperm and the egg of the dog contains only half of it, which is 38, but not paired. Cats have 19 pairs of chromosomes. So meaning in a nucleus of a cat's cell, there are 38 chromosomes and arranged in 19 pairs. But the sperm only contains half of 38, which is 19. While elephants have 28 pairs of chromosomes. So there are 56 chromosomes in each cell. Rice has 12 pairs and corn has 10 pairs. Each chromosome carries many genes. Each gene contains instructions for a characteristic of an organism or the traits of an organism, how the organism will look like. So in humans, these characteristics or traits are your height, okay? Maybe your height, you inherited your height from your mother or your father. Your skin color, eye color, your nose, the way you speak, the way you walk. These are all controlled by the genes we inherited from our mother or from our father. So a human being has about 30,000 genes, and chromosomes are passed down on from parents to children. And these are responsible for the inherited characteristics of an organism. So different cells have different jobs. The cells in a multicellular organism come in all shapes and sizes. So meaning different cells have different shapes and sizes. And also they have different jobs to do. In the human body, for example, there are about 200 different types of cells. And each type does a specific job. So fat cells store fat. A nerve cell carries messages. And in plant cells, guard cells allow gases to move in and out of the leaves. So these are your oxygen and carbon dioxide. So on the slide, we have two different cells. So a human egg cell and a muscle cell. Smooth muscle cell, meaning this muscle cell is found in our internal organs, such as your stomach. So take a look at these two cells. They come in a different size and shape. So another cells in our body are the epithelial cells. So epithelial cells protect our body. Basically, they are found on the surface of our skin and on the surface of our internal organs, such as your stomach and others. So another cell, muscle cells, what do? They contract and pull. When they contract, it allows our body to move. So meaning we are able to move our body when muscle cells contract or pull. Another cell is a nerve cell. So this nerve cell is found in our brain or in our spinal cord. What do? They transmit impulses from the brain to all parts of the body or from all parts of the body back to the brain. So here you have onion cell, human chick cell, an ovum or an egg cell, and leaf cells. So leaf cells, they contain chlorophyll. So what does chlorophyll do? They trap the energy from the sun so that green plants can make their own food. Here's a sperm cell. A sperm cell has three parts. The head which contains a nucleus. So how many chromosomes are there in the nucleus of a sperm cell? This is the human sperm cell. So there are 23, half of 46. The middle piece, which contains mitochondria. So we know that the mitochondria is a powerhouse of the cell. So this is where the sperm gets its energy. And a tail. So a tail is used for movement of the sperm. Next cells are white blood cells. So WBC stands for white blood cells. There are many types of white blood cells. So you have monocyte, lymphocyte, basophil, eosinophil, and neutrophil. So they are different types of white blood cells. So they are like the soldiers of our body. They protect us from harmful microorganisms or disease-causing microorganisms. How do they protect us? So some white blood cells can digest, can kill, or can dissolve these germs or viruses or bacteria to protect us from a disease. Next is RBC or red blood cells, the only cells in the body that do not contain a nucleus. So red blood cells, what do? They carry oxygen from the lungs to all parts of the body, and they also carry carbon dioxide from the cells back to the lungs. Next is a neuron. A neuron or a nerve cell. And this is found in your brain, in the spinal cord, and in all the nerves of the body. So we will learn more about this neuron when we study about the nervous system. Next, so we finished about the cells, the different types of cells. Next level is a tissue. So from cells to tissues. What are tissues? So tissues are made up of similar cells. So again, tissues are made up of similar cells. So the same type of cells work together to do the same job. So in animals, there are 4 basic types of tissues. So first, you have muscle tissue, epithelial tissue, nerve tissue, and connective tissue. So let's discuss them one by one. First is a nerve tissue. So a nerve tissue is made up of nerve cells. or neurons. A nerve tissue carries messages back and forth. So meaning from the brain to the body and from the body to the brain. So this is the job of a nerve tissue. They carry messages or send the message back and forth or to and from the brain to the body and from the body to the brain. Next is muscle tissue. So muscle tissue makes parts of your body move by contracting and relaxing. So muscles of the body contract and relax. When they contract and relax, we are able to move our body parts. But in some cases, like throwing a ball, walking, writing, you can control the movement. So this movement of the muscles can be controlled when you write, when you run, when you walk, and others. But in other cases, such as the beating of your heart, when your heart beats faster or slower, we cannot control this one. So the movement occurs without conscious control. So there are three types of muscles. The first one is called skeletal muscle. Why they are called skeletal muscle? Because these muscles are attached to the bones. Or skeletal system, meaning the bones. So skeletal muscles are muscles attached to the bones. Another type is called cardiac muscles. So cardiac muscles is found in our heart. So basically, cardiac muscles pump blood to all parts of the body. And the third type of muscle is called smooth muscle. And this smooth muscle is found in the internal organs such as your stomach and other organs inside the body. So again, there are three types of muscles. The first type is called skeletal muscle, and the action is voluntary, meaning we can control the action of this muscle, like writing. You can write if you want to write. And if you are tired of writing, you can stop. So meaning the action of this muscle is voluntary, meaning can be controlled by our conscious mind. While other two, cardiac and smooth muscles, these muscles are involuntary muscles, meaning we cannot control the actions of these muscles. Sometimes our heartbeat is fast and sometimes it is slow, and we cannot control it. We don't have the willpower to control the beating of the heart. And the same with smooth muscle. So it is an involuntary muscle, meaning we cannot control the action. So here are the three types of muscles: skeletal muscle, skeletal muscles which are attached to the bones, smooth muscle which are found in the internal organs, and cardiac muscles found in the heart. So skeletal, voluntary, we can control the action, while smooth muscle and cardiac muscles, they are involuntary, meaning we cannot control their actions. The third tissue is called connective tissue. Connective tissue provides support for your body and connects all its parts. So examples of connective tissue are your bones, your fats, your blood, your tendons, ligaments, and cartilage. So what do? They provide support and connect. That's why it is called connective tissue. Examples of connective tissues are, first one, tendon. So take a look at the picture. So a tendon connects a muscle, skeletal muscle, to the bone. One famous tendon in our body is called Achilles tendon. They say this is the strongest tendon in our body. It is located at the back of your leg or just above your ankle. So that is your Achilles tendon. So there are many tendons in our body. So again, a tendon connects a skeletal muscle to the bone. Another connective tissue is called ligaments. So what do? They connect bone to bone. So ligaments are a connective tissues that connect bone to bone. Another connective tissue is called cartilage. So cartilage is found in your nose, in your ear, and at both ends of your bones. So both ends of your bone, take a look at the picture, is covered with cartilage. Next is called epithelial tissues. So epithelial tissue covers the surfaces of the body, both inside and outside the body. So meaning your skin is made up of epithelial tissue, and the surfaces of your internal organs are covered with epithelial tissues. There are many types of epithelial tissues, such as stratified squamous, simple columnar, transitional, cuboidal, or simple cuboidal, basal laminar, pseudostratified ciliated columnar. So these are different epithelial tissues in the body of animals. Okay, so let's take a break and we will continue with the third video. The third video is the last video for day 1 of our online class. Okay, you can have a break first. Thank you. This is the third and the last video of the day 1 of our online class. So let's continue. This is an example of the organization of human body, from cell to tissue to organ and to organ system. So a system, just like circulatory system, is made up of different parts or organs. And the main organ of the circulatory system is the heart. And the heart is made up of different tissues. One of them is cardiac muscle tissue. And the cardiac muscle tissue is made up of cardiac muscle cell. So let's go to the third level, and this is the organ. So when different tissues work together to do a particular job, they make up an organ. So it means that an organ is made up of different tissues. Like for example, our brain is made up of nerve tissue and connective tissue. And the brain controls the various parts of the body. Another organ is the heart. And the heart consists of different tissues such as muscle tissue, blood tissue, and connective tissue. And the heart pumps blood around the body. Another organ is the stomach, which is made up of different tissues such as epithelial tissue, muscle tissue, and connective tissue. So our stomach breaks down some food. Here are some organs of the body. So first you have your lungs, and then your kidneys. Then you have your liver. So underneath your liver is a gallbladder. And the yellow one underneath your stomach is the pancreas. And then the last organ there to your right is the spleen. Here's your rib cage. So inside your rib cage is another muscle called diaphragm. So diaphragm is a muscle. We will learn more about these organs on Thursday. So for animals, they also have different organs. Birds are the only animals which have gizzard. So gizzard is used to digest hard food. When different organs work together to do a particular job, they make up a system. A system consists of parts that work together, and each system in the human body has one main function. So again, if we break down the parts of the body, so the body is made up of different systems, and a system is made up of different organs, and an organ is made up of different tissues, and a tissue is made up of similar cells. And a cell is a basic unit of all organisms that is alive. And the cell is made up of different molecules. And a molecule is made up of different atoms. So these are some systems of our body. So the first one is called circulatory system. So the main part of the circulatory system are your heart, which is the main organ of the circulatory system, and the blood vessels. So these blood vessels are the veins and the arteries. So the veins basically are the blue ones. So why veins are blue ones in this picture? Because almost all veins in the body carry unoxygenated blood. So meaning this blood is rich in carbon dioxide and it contains low amount of oxygen. And the arteries are the red one. So it is red because the blood there contains high amount of oxygen and low amount of carbon dioxide. And this blood is called oxygenated blood. So again, a circulatory system is made up of heart and blood vessels such as veins, arteries, and capillaries. So the system carries oxygen and nutrients to all cells in the body and takes waste away from the cells. So it consists of the heart, the blood vessels, and blood. Another system is the digestive system. So these are the organs that help in the digestion of food. So your salivary glands, which secrete saliva, esophagus, liver, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and others. So the organs or parts of the body that work together to break down food into smaller, more usable form. So this is your digestive system. Another one is the respiratory system. So the organs are your trachea, your lungs, your nose, your diaphragm. So the system involved in the inhalation of and diffusion of oxygen into the bloodstream and the removal of carbon dioxide from the body via exhalation. So this is mainly for gas exchange between our body and the environment. Next is the excretory system. The main organ for the excretory system are your kidneys. So they excrete or remove excess water and waste from cell reactions in the body. So the waste products of the body are excreted by the excretory system, and the main organ are the kidneys. Next, the reproductive system. So the male and the female reproductive system. So the main organ of the reproductive system for male are the testes or testicles and ovaries for female, because these organs, they produce gametes or sex cells. So sperm cells and ovum. Next is the nervous system. So it is divided into central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. So central nervous system, this is your brain and your spinal cord. And the peripheral nervous system, all the nerves that originate from your brain and your spinal cord. So the nervous system controls all your body's activities. None of your other systems would function without your nervous system. So nervous system receives information about the environment. It stores memories, allows you to think, and many more. So from system to organism. So in multicellular organisms, the different systems make up the whole organism. However, unicellular organisms do not have any tissue, organs, or systems, as they have only one cell. So meaning all the jobs are carried out by a cell in unicellular organism. Whereas in a multicellular organism, there is a division of labor. And what is this? So as a unicellular organism has only one cell, this cell has to carry out all the jobs of the organism, such as respiration, digestion, and reproduction. However, in a multicellular organism, different cells carry out different jobs. Dividing the work of the organism among cells is called division of labor. So like for example, for respiration, we have the respiratory system. For digestion of food, that's the job of the digestive system. And for reproduction, that's the job of the reproductive system. So there is a division of labor. Labor means job in multicellular organisms. To allow cells to do their jobs efficiently, they have special features, such that muscle cells are elastic, which allows them to contract easily and causes the organism to move. While cells in a green leaf contain chloroplast, which trap energy from the sun to make food for the plant. So muscle cells in our body allow us to move. So chloroplast in a green plants contain chlorophyll. So in a multicellular organism, there is a specialization of cells that leads to division of labor. So specialization of cells, meaning each cell, each type of cell has its own specific job. So a zygote. A zygote is the first cell in the formation of a human. So during fertilization, a sperm and an egg become one. So a sperm and an egg, when they become one, it forms a zygote. So a zygote has 46 chromosomes or 23 pairs. So 23 from sperm, 23 from ovum or egg cell. So a zygote. So nerve cells to carry messages, red blood cells to transfer oxygen, muscle cells for body movement, sperm cells for reproduction, and bone cells to support the body. Besides division of labor among cells, there is also division of labor among organs and systems. So different organs and systems do different jobs. Thus, in the human body, the heart and the brain do different jobs. However, all the organs work with one another to make up a system. And many systems work together to ensure that the whole organisms function effectively. So next, so what is an organism? So an organism is a sum of cells, tissues, organs, and organ system. So this is basically a multicellular organism. So a population is a group of the same type of organisms, all living together in the same place. And an ecosystem contains different populations living together in one area. So I think this topic will be in M3 about ecosystem. And biosphere, bio means life. So all the ecosystem around the world make up the biosphere. Now for your first activity, you have to introduce yourself because especially M2/3, most of you I don't know yet because I did not teach you in M1. So what you are going to do is record a video and introduce yourself. Just say your name, your nickname, your class, for example, 2/3, and your class number if you can remember. So what is your number in the class from 1 to 30? And your video must be 30 to 40 seconds, not um, shorter than 30 seconds, but not more than 40 seconds. And you can send it, or you can send your video through line. And here's my number. You can add me online. And you can also send your video on a Facebook Messenger, and that's my account name. And you can submit your video tonight before on or before 6 p.m. Okay, so this is the end of the day 1 of our online class. See you again on Thursday.